What's up, everybody? It's Kid Smooth, and I'm switching to PlayStation, and here's why. I can't even pretend to do that. I've had it with Xbox's lack of quality exclusives, and I'm switching to PlayStation 4, and here's why. Shit still is not coming out the way I need it to come out. What the fuck?
Hey, Andre, where you at?
Actually, this is not a switching to PlayStation video. I'm wearing this actually pristine PlayStation hat because shout out to the people over at Sony for doing what they were projected to do with the PlayStation 4, and that is selling 100 million consoles. And they did it pretty fast. I believe this is the fastest PlayStation console to do so. Think about it, PlayStation has had 4 PlayStation consoles. You have the PS1, the PS2, PS3, PS4. Pretty much all but one of their consoles achieved 100 million. The PlayStation 1 did it, took it I think like 9 years to do 100 million. PS2 did it, I think it took maybe 6 or 7 years to do it. And the PS4 did it in pretty much about like 5 or 6 years or so. So congratulations. But the PlayStation has been very a beast. This whole generation, they came out from the start, had a slow start content wise, but as far as just being the popular brand throughout the whole generation, the quality games that they put out over the last 4 years, whether it be the Uncharted remastering, The Last of Us, the Horizon Zero Dawn, even the lukewarm Days Gone, God of War 2018 did some damage, and Marvel's Spider-Man, those were all like hits. And then you got Death Stranding coming this year. So PlayStation really served up its fan base and served up actually the gaming industry this year. It kind of carried it on its back in terms of software sales this whole entire generation. And you can't hate that, you really can't hate it. Me personally, like you said, you guys know I'm an Xbox guy. Sure, I have a PlayStation and I played every one of their popular games. I've tried to play Days Gone, I can't do it. It's just not doing it for me. But everything else I've done and actually enjoyed. So it's crazy to think the PlayStation has probably lapped or double lapped the Xbox at this point to reclaim the industry lead. It has been the dominant console this entire generation. When you think about the moves, the marketing was superb for what they've done. They have probably whoever's PlayStation's marketing team, they got like an all-star marketing team. They gambled on the right third-party deals. When different publishers do like marketing deals, they've gambled on all the right ones. They had all the right games for marketing deals, and they took advantage of those for as long as they needed to. They really didn't need marketing deals over the last 2 years, as their exclusives, their first parties like heavily carried them. But throughout the first 4 years, they've had like the killer marketing deals, whether it be Star Wars Battlefront, whether it be Destiny, Call of Duty, the NBA 2Ks, everything. It was just really on point, and you got to appreciate that. And hopefully people over at Microsoft and even Nintendo take notes and learn from that and do a better job with the marketing this time around. But that wasn't the only thing that happened this week. Nintendo is also in the news with their, I think, hitting north of 37 million, creeping up on the Xbox last reported number. The Nintendo has been selling like hotcakes. The Nintendo Switch, I mean, this is my third one, but this one was actually free. So but it's already like got scratches and stuff on it because I let my kids play it. I play Shaq Fu every now and then, and that's about it. My kids pretty much play Minecraft on it. I'm actually playing for Nintendo Switch Online, so they can play on different servers on Minecraft. Someone said Xbox Live is free on Nintendo Switch, but I don't know what part of Xbox Live you're paying for. If the Xbox first party games you play on a Switch still requires Nintendo Switch Online. I don't know. But anyway, Nintendo's doing a good job. I mean, Nintendo have always had like consoles that just kind of like catch lightning in a bottle, and I've never enjoyed them. This one, I can try to enjoy, but I'm pretty sure if xCloud make its way to Nintendo Switch in the near future, I will enjoy this a lot. Matter of fact, I will buy the Nintendo Switch Lite. I'll buy quite a few of them if that turns out to be the case in the future. But until then, I honestly really have no use for this, so I'm going to give this back to my son. But shout out to Nintendo for their record pacing, because they're on pace with the PlayStation 4. So that means this generation can have 2 consoles that end up selling 100 million, and none of them not named Xbox. But Xbox did get some news today. So you guys remember that kid that won like the Fortnite championship? He won like a couple $1 million or something like that. Yeah, his mom threw away his Xbox, threw it in the trash before the World Cup. That was the biggest Xbox news this week. Actually, no. There's no financial, in terms of software sales, hardware sales, nothing. We've had like people share Phil Spencer's latest interview with Fortune, but people was not telling you that interview was actually before E3 back in May. They were talking about how they were prepping E3 during that interview. So it's an old interview, but it's a lot of tidbits there from it. It was a good interview. I enjoyed it. Check it out. Apparently, there's no, I don't know of any new sales or what's going on with the Xbox from a standpoint. Phil Spencer said it is profitable. It's a profitable business, but he cannot tell us how long it's been profitable. But there is some cool Xbox news, is that Game Pass announced a couple games coming in August. Honestly, the first batch of games that they did announce is actually complete garbage, so I wouldn't really get too excited. However, games with gold has actually been the best in years. You got Gears of War 4 and Forza Motorsport 6. Actually, both games came out in 2016, so those were the 2 games. Well, Forza 6 I think came out in 2015. Forza 6, underrated Forza game. It was awesome. I think the last Forza game before the Xbox One X era. And Gears of War 4, I mean, it's in Game Pass, so I guess, I mean, if you don't have Game Pass, download Gears of War 4 as your games will go. It's a pretty awesome game. It's Xbox's last quality exclusive until Gears 5, according to some people. But yeah, honestly, guys, I really don't know really what to call this video. I actually was just looking for an excuse to do a video because I've been gone a little bit too long, and I know some of you guys miss me. You miss the antics, and I thought I wear the PlayStation hat because I am truly happy for PlayStation and Nintendo for what they've done. They've carried the industry on their backs this generation. Now, do I think the Xbox, the best box, is a failure this generation? It depends on what you guys describe as a failure. I mean, if not having mini games hit 90 plus on Metascore is a failure, okay. If not reaching 100 million in sales is a failure to you, then hey, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know what they consider a failure. I don't know whatever their goals were, and if they didn't hit, then they failed. Me personally, how I look at it is like, hey, yeah, they lost, and they were the least popular brand, despite what different article says. This generation definitely the least popular. However, it didn't really stop my enjoyment and my playtime with it. I mean, the Xbox gets about 88% of the games that PlayStation gets, with the exception of these select Japanese games and second-party games that Sony's able to scoop up. But overall, I think the way Microsoft look at it, you could tell Microsoft isn't hurting. Do they need an Xbox console? No, they're there because they can afford to sell a competing console. It's there. Do I want Xbox to go away? Absolutely not. I think Xbox should stay. I do wish they focus more on their box, but at this range, looking at what PlayStation was able to do this generation is only going to bleed over into next generation, because we're in a days where backwards compatibility and just all compatibility is kind of standard now. So you don't have to worry about losing your library anymore. And I know Xbox wanted to get an early start on that. And so pretty much everybody who has a PlayStation is pretty much locked in. So Sony has 100 million people, or 100 install size of 100 million, just pretty much waiting for them across the next 10 years for PlayStation 5. Honestly, I mean, it'll be kind of hard to fuck that up, because we're in a generation where the next iPhone comes out, I have an iPhone, I'm gonna get the iPhone by default. I don't give a fuck what Google drops next. I'm just not getting, I'm getting the iPhone. So, and that's what it is for gaming too. It's like, you kind of have your profile, your games, your library, and places, all this money you invested in PlayStation. PlayStation 5 comes out, you spent most of your time on the PlayStation 4 this generation. The PS5 is somewhat a no-brainer, honestly. And same thing with Xbox. The Xbox, what they've done, they're pretty much set for next generation among core Xbox fans. But what I guess Microsoft did this generation to keep them successful, because without them selling a whole lot of consoles, you got to think about this. The Xbox One, the original, was not sold at a loss. The Xbox One S was not sold at a loss. And surprisingly, the Xbox One X, none was sold at a loss. They were all sold at a marginal profit. We're talking like somewhere between $15 to $20 for every console that they dropped. They were sold at a profit. But what Microsoft did this generation is really capitalize on the install of 35 to 40 million. The 40 million install size on Xbox kind of generated a whole lot of income for Microsoft between Xbox, Game Pass, and gaming on PC. And Microsoft is also making a whole ton of money on the back end because they own a lot of tools that's used by a lot of third-party games and publishers. So Microsoft is probably not looking at this as a failure, but you know, from the outside looking in, as a customer standpoint, all you saw is PlayStation. They had the better marketing, the better games, and the better selling platform. They easily won this generation. Nintendo Switch is not taking an L this generation, even with having the weaker hardware. To me, the less appealing titles. And the Xbox, honestly, from a consumer standpoint, it just really took a major L, but for somehow it still remains relevant. But that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you think of this video and what more videos you'll see from me. Actually, I probably going to be doing another video about this little game called NBA Live soon, so stay tuned. That's all I got for you guys. Xbox is the best box, and I am the best bot until I sign that pony contract.